In 3 years of public ministry, Jesus never stopped surprising the people around him. He shocked the religious establishment. He shocked his own disciples. He shocked his family, his enemies, and complete strangers who came to trap him. Even after the resurrection, he surprised the very people who loved him most. Today we are walking through 7 moments when Jesus did something so unexpected that the people watching did not know how to respond. Stay with us to the end, because the 7th moment is the one most Christians have never stopped to fully consider. The first shock came not from a miracle, but from 2 words. A paralyzed man was lowered through a roof by his 4 friends to reach Jesus. The room was packed. Everyone expected Jesus to heal him. Instead, Jesus looked at the man and said, "Son, your sins are forgiven." The scribes in the room went silent and then furious. In Jewish theology, only God could forgive sins. Jesus had just publicly claimed divine authority. They called it blasphemy. Jesus, knowing their thoughts, then healed the man, specifically to prove that the authority to forgive was real. As it is written in Mark 2, verses 10 and 11, "But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to the man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat and go home." Jesus' first recorded act of public controversy was not a healing. It was a forgiveness, and it told everyone watching exactly who he was. Jews and Samaritans did not speak. Centuries of ethnic and religious hostility made that a cultural rule almost no one broke. A Jewish rabbi speaking publicly to a Samaritan woman, alone at a well in the middle of the day, was so far outside the social order that his own disciples were shocked when they returned and found him doing it. But Jesus asked her for water, offered her living water in return, and revealed to her that he was the Messiah, the first person in the Gospel of John to receive that direct declaration. As it is written in John 4:27, just then his disciples returned and were surprised to find him talking with a woman. But no one asked, "What do you want?" or "Why are you talking with her?" Their silence said everything. Jesus crossed every boundary to reach the one person society had given up on. Jesus is often presented as gentle and meek, and he was. But twice in his ministry he walked into the temple courts and physically drove out the merchants and money changers, overturning their tables and scattering their coins across the floor. The temple courts had become a marketplace, and a corrupt one. The money changers held a monopoly, charging excessive rates to exchange currency for temple tax. The dove sellers were overcharging pilgrims who could only afford the cheapest sacrificial animal. Jesus made a whip from cords, drove out the animals, and told them they had turned his Father's house into a den of robbers. As it is written in John 2:16, to those who sold doves he said, "Get these out of here. Stop turning my Father's house into a market." Jesus' anger in the temple teaches us that holy passion is not the opposite of love. It is love defending what is sacred. In first-century Israel, Roman soldiers were the occupying enemy. No Jewish teacher would publicly praise one. Yet when a Roman centurion came to Jesus, asking him to heal his servant, and told Jesus he was not worthy for him to come under his roof, that Jesus only needed to say the word. Jesus stopped and turned to the crowd. He told them he had not found faith this great in all of Israel. A Gentile soldier, an occupying force, praised above every Pharisee, every scribe, every disciple standing beside him. As it is written in Matthew 8:10, when Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." Jesus praised the centurion's faith to teach us that God's kingdom has no borders, and faith is the only entry requirement. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus rose from the supper table, wrapped a towel around his waist, poured water into a basin, and began washing his disciples' feet. Foot washing was the task of the lowest household servant. No rabbi performed it. No teacher touched another man's feet. Peter was so disturbed that he refused, telling Jesus he would never wash his feet. Jesus told him plainly, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." As it is written in John 13:14-15, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you." Jesus washing feet teaches us that greatness in God's kingdom is measured not by who serves you, but by who you are willing to serve. As the soldiers drove nails through his hands and raised the cross, Jesus looked down at his executioners and prayed. Not for rescue, not for judgment. He prayed for their forgiveness. He had been falsely accused, publicly humiliated, beaten beyond recognition, and nailed to a cross. And his first recorded words from it were a prayer of forgiveness for the men who put him there. As it is written in Luke 23:34, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." The forgiveness from the cross teaches us that the gospel is not a message about what we deserve. It is a declaration of grace that reaches even those who are in the very act of rejecting it. After the resurrection, Jesus could have appeared to Peter, the leader of the disciples. He could have appeared to John, the one who had stayed at the cross. He could have appeared to the Sanhedrin and silenced every accuser. Instead, the first person Jesus chose to appear to after his resurrection was Mary Magdalene, a woman who had been delivered from 7 demons, whose testimony held no legal weight in a first-century Jewish court, and who was weeping alone outside an empty tomb. As it is written in John 20:16, Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus appearing to Mary first teaches us that God's first instinct after the greatest victory in human history was to comfort the one who was most broken by grief. He is still doing the same today. Jesus forgave sins, crossed ethnic boundaries, overturned temple tables, praised a Roman soldier, washed his disciples' feet, forgave his executioners, and appeared first to a weeping woman who had nowhere else to turn. 7 moments, 7 shocks, and one consistent message running through every single one of them. God moves toward the unexpected. He elevates the forgotten. He reaches across every wall that human beings build, and he has been doing it since before the foundation of the world. As it is written in Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." God bless you.